Hello, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Michaela. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, fine. Sorry for the low, the noise. I am in my way to my home.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Hello, good evening. Hello, can you listen to me?
Hi, teacher. Good
Hello,
evening.
teacher.
I'm sorry, I had a problem to get connected. I'm not at home right now, but thanks for getting connected to this class. I'm not gonna turn on my camera. Okay, but let's start with the class. I'm so sorry. Um, well, okay, the last class we're about to talk about. We already worked with something which was related to present perfect progressive or present perfect continuous versus present perfect. And today we're going to continue with that, by the way. Oof, I just wanted to open my presentation for a moment, and I'm going to do it right now. I think I have some problems to open my PowerPoint also, but I'm going to do it as fast as we can. I hope everyone is okay right now. Okay. Right now, please let me let me do this one. I'm gonna share my screen in a moment. So I was trying to explain the last class about, as I told you, uh, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Um, okay, I'm sorry. I will be able to share my screen in a moment. Let me do it right now. Okay. So I hope you can listen to me. Is it okay, the audio that I'm trying to share right now, or it's not possible to listen to me very well? What do you say? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can hear you, teacher.
Okay, I hope you can listen to me. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna share today my camera because I don't have. Hello, Lucia. Good evening. Hello, Michaela, Karen. Thanks for getting
Good
connected.
evening.
Good evening. Okay, so let's start now, please. Well, I think with this presentation, we're gonna understand much better what I was trying to explain in last class. This is gonna be about the simple present or simple past, present perfect, and present progressive, present perfect progressive. Okay, so let's start, please. I don't know if you can help me reading this one, Karen.
Adventure Traveler ad. Are you looking for a little adventure in your life? Travel with me to beautiful Colorado and experience river rafting and rock climbing. I have been guiding adventure travelers in this area for 10 years. In fact, last year I took ferry trips down the Colorado River. Oh, and don't worry about safety. I've also taken a number of first aid and safety courses, and no one has ever broke any bones on my trips.
Okay, thanks. What kind of tenses can you see here? Is it possible for you to identify some of them? Maybe present perfect continuous, or progressive, or simple present, or simple past. Sorry. Can you check out that, guys? What can we find here?
Um, I have been guiding adventure travel.
Okay, I have been living. That's present perfect continuous, right? Present perfect progressive, if we can also say. I've been guiding adventure travelers, right? But we have different tenses. Over here we have, I've also taken, that's present perfect, right? And no one has ever broken any bones on my trips. So she's talking about uh, doing some adventure hikings or adventure extreme sports. Well, let's start with this. we use the simple past to talk about things that happened and were completed in the past, right? Like it's very simple. When one action is completed, when one action is already finished, and it's not going to be repeated anymore, we use simple past, And for example, that happened in the past, we don't probably know specifically when that started, but it was in the past. So now it's not gonna continue. It's not gonna happen that I kayaked in the Grand Canyon for 2 months, and probably it's not gonna do it, right? But in this case, it is things that happened and were completed in the past. He's not kayaking now. That's why we use simple past. And over here, maybe if you can help me reading this one, please. Uh, Micaela, are you there?
Oh yeah, I rafted down the Nile River a year ago.
Okay, I rafted down the Nile River a year ago. Yes. So in that case, also a simple past, but use ago to show when something started, right? I'm sorry. Okay. Hmm, ago, a year ago. It's also about a past, of course. That's just a one way to use simple past. But what about present perfect or present tenses? We use the present perfect and the present perfect progressive to talk about things that started in the past but were not completed. If you can help me reading this one, please, Karen, these two sentences. Hello?
Yeah. I have get travelers my entire career. I have been rock climbing for 10 years.
Yes. So here we have two sentences. The first one is in present perfect, and the second one we have in present perfect progressive and present perfect continuous. Um, I have got it traversed my entire career, but that means that the action started at some point in the past, right? But these things continue up to the present and may continue into the future, probably. Okay, in both of them, or at least this. In the first example, I have guided travelers my entire career. That means that that person still will guide some people in his or her career. And in the second example, I have been rock climbing for 10 years. In that case, also the example is showing us the progress of the action. Okay, and it says that these things continue up to the present or and may continue into the future. But remember, also I mentioned about this stative or non-action verbs are not usually used in a progressive in the progressive forms because especially when we talk about feelings, thoughts, we consider in English those verbs that are stative verbs or non-action verbs, and the other verbs that we consider that are uh, action verbs, that are the things that makes you move or actions that makes you do something physically. And when we talk about these ones, probably those verbs are considered. For example, it's not correct to say I have been knowing how to rock climb since I was young, because it's not an action. It's considered a stative verb. But in that case, uh, it's not possible to use present perfect continuous, right? Because knowing, it is with ing, and usually we don't use it in the progressive form. And usually we use only, it is possible to use in present perfect. I've known how to rock climb since I was young. So yes, that's a possibility also. Sometimes you cannot use every single verb with present perfect progressive. Even in present progressive, when we use present continuous, by the way. Okay. Especially when, but maybe you can ask, what are the steady verbs? Again, I said that there are some verbs like love, right? Like are considered steady verbs. Feel, right? Um, know, understand. All of those verbs are considered steady and non-action verbs. That's what we cannot use. But instead of that, instead of using present perfect progressive, probably we're gonna use only present perfect, because also present perfect is for actions that are probably happening this time. Okay. I don't know if you have some questions about that, guys. You want to ask something about this one? Is that okay? Can you listen to me?
Teacher,
Yes.
you say now that we can use some verbs with this tense. So with now another verb that we can use with this tense.
Sorry, I was not able to understand fully your question. Can you please, maybe you can repeat one more time?
Okay, well, you say that we can in this sentence we can use knowing with the simple with the present, no, with the continuous form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in this case, so you say that we have some verbs that we can use with the first tense. So I'm asking to you about other verbs.
Sure, sure. Okay, there are some stative verbs. I'm gonna write some of them over here. Okay, the stative verbs or non-action verbs in English, for example, are, let me write down here. And yeah, usually when we talk about feelings, okay, verbs that talk, sorry, feelings, maybe ideas, right? Uh, Also, for example, ideas, such as, okay, thoughts also, right? But thoughts and ideas are similar, quite similar. But there are many verbs, like, let me make a short list over here. I think it can be useful for you. And I want to move this one higher. Anyway, over here. Okay, let me do it. So there we go. For example, when we say sorry, like, you cannot say I'm liking it, right? Also, when we talk about love, because that's a verb, and when we use hate, when we use prefer, you cannot say I'm preferring it. Okay. The other verbs that are very common, for example, is want, are consider, also need. It's considered a, a stative verb. That's only about feeling. It's a large verb. There are many verbs, but let me write some of them. For example, mind. You cannot say I don't minding it, right? I don't mind. Or also, you cannot say I'm caring it. You only say care, right? Those are some of the verbs that are considered stative verbs. This is about when we talk about feelings, right? Feelings. I'm sorry. Mhm. Anyway, these are about feelings. And okay, the most common verbs that we usually use in speaking, these are the ones that are not commonly used, not commonly, not used, by the way. Oh, come on. Okay, so the other one that we can talk about thoughts, okay? The thoughts, for example, no, sorry, no, think, think is also an stative verb. For example, believe. We cannot say believe in. Even sometimes you're gonna find out those verbs in songs, but it is very informal. For example, daft is another verb that we can talk about. Remember, yes, remember. It's also possible. It's not possible to use with ing. Okay, agree. For example, agree is another one. Then also we have in also when we talk about senses, okay, senses. Oh, come on. For example, we have feel, okay. Feeling sometimes it's possible, but not as a verb, right? Feeling it's a bit a different word. And for example, okay, these are considered some stative verbs. For example, smell, smell, uh, taste. No, not taste. The other one is look. No, look. Yeah, not really. So it's possible. And some other verbs are possible to use. Usually those examples, okay? Those verbs that are not possible to use in continuous form, even in present perfect continuous or present perfect or simple present. Okay, but you can find out some of those stative verbs that are not possible, but probably some of them may be. But usually in songs and in what can I say? In some of not formal speech, like formal writing or something like that. Did I answer your question, Karen? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Well, yeah, these are some verbs, by the way. But in order to move to the next slide, I'm gonna put this here. Okay, let's continue with the other one. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make this disappear. Okay, so we often use the present perfect and the present perfect progressive, also with for and since. Use for to show how long something has been true, and since to show when something started. Okay, that's easy, right? That happens in present perfect too. I have trained for 6 years to take this trip. Well, we are using only for, right? Have trained. Probably that person still training because that's why we are using present perfect. And he has been guiding trips since 2000. This is present perfect continuous, but also we can use for and since, right? For is a period of time, since is for a point in time when we start doing something, right? Since 2000, okay? Well, since 2000. At the beginning, in the present perfect, if we don't put since, probably it's not very important to mention about the, oh, sorry, the starting point. I'm sorry, I was trying to make this disappear. It's better now. Okay, so right, I was explaining this one. So when we mention since, it's a point in time in the past to talk about that, and use the simple past with past time expressions. What about the time expressions? It can be like last year, yesterday, um, a day before yesterday, or something like that. Okay. You know what is the meaning of trekking, right? It's a difficult walk. Have you ever took a trekking tour, maybe Karen or everyone? In La Paz, it's very common to take some trekkings. How about you, Nazarena?
Yes, in El Camino de la Muerte, I think.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't made, but
Ah, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it is possible. In the past, I was a trekking tour guide. And I used to do with my backpack. I was a backpacker, mochilero. When I in my many years ago, I used to go with tourists doing the, yeah, as you said, El Camino de la Muerte. It's like the death road. Yeah, I also did the death road, but there are some similar places like the Inca Trail and some places here in La Paz. You have to descend from 4,700 meters up to 400 meters probably to the jungle. 3 days walking, uh, be okay, sleeping in campings. It is interesting exploring the the descent or accent also, but it is interesting. Okay, anyway, so um, well, that's trekking. Okay, we trekked through the Andes mountains. Probably this is somewhere in Bolivia. I don't know. Uh, he backpacked in Peru 2 months ago. Yeah, this is in Peru probably, right? I was a backpacker in the past. But anyway, as you can see here, we're using the simple past with past expressions. For example, last year or 2 months ago is a time expression about past, by the way. Okay. So what about this one? Backpacked. Okay, it is interesting. This is considered a verb right now, backpacked, right? Because it's an action. That's what we consider like a verb. So, but you have to be careful about this one. Don't use specific time expressions with the present perfect except after since or for, because otherwise it's not necessary to use present perfect. If you want to use specific time expressions, much better to use simple past, by the way, and not needed present perfect or present perfect continuous. So she has taken skydiving lessons last year. That is present perfect, right? Because it is not very specific last year. It's not we don't for example this one. Much better to say she took skydiving lessons last year. Not necessary to use it. Or if you want to use, she has taken skydiving lessons since last year. That's perfect. But as we're not using that here, much better to use only like this one. Okay. And she has taken skydiving lessons since 2004. It's the other one that we are talking about here. Um, but if we use since, no problem. Okay, guys, now I will ask you to help me with these examples. You have to fill up these blanks with your examples. Fill in the blanks with the simple past, present perfect, or present perfect progressive form of the verbs in parentheses. Let's do it. Let's do it, please, now. Or I don't know. Maybe you want to take some time, but every single person will do this. But we're gonna work alternating everyone. Okay. How about you now? Who wants to start the first one? Okay, take your time. No worries. Then you can start with that. I'm sorry, it's a bit noisy over here. I hope it's not disturbing. I'm not at home right now. But anyway, let's work, please, in your example. But in this sentence, okay, just in this example. Who wants to start? Okay, think about it.
Teacher, when we have a for in the first sentence, uh, this we use for a time expression, right? So, but in this case, we only mention hours, so we need to use the present perfect.
Yeah, you can use any tense, by the way. Simple past, present perfect progressive.
I
But
know, but
yeah, but you said that if it's possible to use for and since for only for present perfect, no, it's possible also to use since and for present perfect progressive for both of them.
but we can use present perfect and present perfect progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
You mean
uh,
to in these examples, right? Or
yes, yes, this for the first
yeah,
example, but no matter what tense, in this case, present perfect or present perfect correct, we use the sentence will be correct.
yeah, it is possible. Okay, let's try. Who you do you want to start with that? Maybe with the first.
Uh, uh, um, I have sit here for hours looking at the beautiful birds in the rainforest.
Okay. You said I have sit, right? Yeah, but remember you
Yes.
can use sat, right?
Okay.
Sit, sat, sat. Okay, but yeah, but it's good. You can say I have sat or I have been sitting here for hours looking at the beautiful birds in the rainforest. It's good. Okay, somebody else wants to continue with the next example. This you're gonna read until one expression or one sentence, if I can say that. Let's continue, please,
Uh,
Micaela.
maybe this vacation to Brazil was wonderful.
Okay, this vacation to Brazil was wonderful. Has been wonderful.
Okay.
If you say was
Um,
wonderful, it is also okay. depending on the context, by the way. But right now we have
Okay.
has been. What about the next one? Who wants to try the next?
Mm, um, I have seen so many amazing animals since I arrived here.
Okay, what did you say?
I have seen so many amazing animals since I arrived here.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Lucia. What about the other one? Nazarena.
Okay, last week I hiked through the forest to see the three monkeys.
Okay. Last week I hiked through the forest to see the three monkeys. Okay, good. What about the other one, please? Somebody?
Maybe it's told.
Sorry?
It's
Told?
told us. Yeah.
Our guide on that trip told us. Very good. What about the last one?
Teacher, I don't know if the verb is in the past form or not. In the parentheses, I don't know how to say.
I learned so much on this trip. Yeah, you can also say I have learned. I have been learning so much on this trip. Depending on the context here, we have, for example, our guide on that trip told us some very interesting information. But I have learned because we are still talking about this one. That's why I have told a very interesting information. Okay. Well, let's continue with this one, by the way. The present perfect, uh, for example, we use the present perfect without time expression to talk about things that happened at some indefinite time in the past. What about indefinite time when we don't know exactly when, right? They have canoed down the Amazon River. That one, for example, is we don't know when they canoe down the river. On the time, or the time is not important, or we don't want to mention that. Okay, in that case, we're not going to use. It's we're going to use present perfect. We don't know really when that happened. Okay, so the other one is the present perfect without for, since shows that an activity is finished, right? Finished also. That's the other way of using present perfect, by the way. We often say how many times with this use of the present perfect. He has visited Machu Picchu 3 times. That means probably in the future he or she can visit, but the action was completed, especially when we answer these kind of questions, or not exactly answer, but when yeah, probably it's like an answer from how many times, and in that way also we use present perfect. Okay, like he has visited Machu Picchu 3 times, something like that. Probably in the future can visit, right? But present perfect progressive shows that an activity is unfinished. We often say how long with the present perfect progressive. Usually we say how long. Like it can be like a question. They have been climbing for 5 years, or how long have they been climbing? How long have they been climbing? That could be the question for this answer. They have been climbing for hours. Okay, we use an activity is unfinished or yeah, definitely the activity is unfinished. But if we look back to this example, he has visited Machu Picchu 3 times. The action can be finished, but it has some relevance in the present. It is important so far. It is still important. Okay. So, but in the next over here, we have the present perfect progressive shows that an activity is unfinished. Like this in this example. They have been climbing for 5 hours. They're still climbing. Present perfect progressive to show that the activity is still in progress. Okay. Well, it's not finished. There's still time. And also the present perfect or the simple past with unfinished time periods such as today, this week, this month. We're gonna use the present perfect also. She has traveled to Alaska twice this month, right? That means that the month isn't over. She might travel again, okay? Because probably that's why I said also present perfect is of course it started in the past, but the action is completed so far, but the month is not the month isn't over, so probably I'm sorry. Uh, I had a problem with my connection, I think. I'm gonna share this one once again. I don't know what happened. Okay. I was about to explain this one, right? So this is another example of the present perfect. She traveled to Alaska twice this month. Also in that case, in that example, the month isn't over, but she probably wants to travel again this month. Okay. Well, so look at the groups of sentences, discuss the differences in meaning with upon. But over here, what do you think is the difference among these two examples? I have visited Kenya 3 times this year, or I visited Kenya 3 times this year. What do you think is the difference here? Can somebody try to explain this difference? Or probably the sentences are quite similar. What do you say?
Maybe it's the frequency. Maybe, for example, B is something that finish, and there's no possibility to repeat. But maybe the first one, the A case, is more like I have visited Kenya 3 times this year. Is maybe there is a possibility that in the present that girl could visit one more time or 2 times more. It's something that is more open for the present. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, it can be a difference about that. I have visited Kenya 3 times this year, right? The frequency, yeah, the frequency definitely um, can be the difference, right? But what about this? I have visited, right? Hmm. The year isn't over, right? In both of the cases, because we are still talking about this year. The use of the present perfect means that she might return again to Kenya, right? It is possible. And in the next one, in the simple past, the year isn't over, but the use of the simple past means that she probably won't return to Kenya. Okay, that's why we use simple past. And in the first example, we used present perfect because we want to say we mean that probably they will return, they will return, or she will return to Kenya this year because the year is not over. But if we use just simple past, that means that the action is finished and probably almost very sure, 100% sure that's not gonna happen again. The action is already completed and it's gonna be like that. Okay, that's the main difference among simple past and present perfect. The frequency can be, but just if we use simple past, that means that that's gonna stay like that. But now, please, what about this one? Number one, I have taken many first aid courses. I have been taking. What do you think is okay? Let's read these sentences and try to explain what are the meanings probably about each example, please.
I have taken many first aid courses. I have been taking many first aid courses. And I need to explain the difference between
The difference.
It's for me it's the time. In the first one, well, we don't know if I finish these courses, but I think that yes. And in the second one is something that pass in the have passed in the past and is still continuing in the present. So for these courses, I'm still taking them.
Okay, yeah. In the second example, of course, the action is or the courses and she's or he or she, I don't know who, but still taken, still will take the first aid courses. And the first stage probably we don't exactly know if he or she will still take that. Right? Yeah, it's good. It's a perfect explanation. What about the number two? Maybe Lucia, how can you explain the second one?
Um, for example, for me, something maybe with grammar rules that, for example, I know that is a time tense that finish, that already finished when we have these times expressions like last week. So I'm pretty sure that it's a simple past because it's not something that is like indefinitely like in a present perfect. For example, here is so clear that she rafted down the Nile River last week. It's a specific time in the past, last week. And in the second case, she has rafted down the Nile River. It's it's present perfect because it's something, it's a time, it's a tense that is not specific. So I did that.
Yeah, this is very specific, and in that case, not needed to use present perfect, right? In the first,
Yeah, indeed.
just simple past. In the second, yeah, it's possible to use it. Just a way of expression, but also we have to check out the time expression. if it's not, if it is specific or not. Okay, thanks. What about number 3? I don't know if you can explain that, Nazarena or Michaela. Okay, Nazarena, go ahead.
The first one is we lived in Nepal for 2 years. That means that was in the past. The second, we have lived in Nepal for 2 years. Um, uh, it's in the past too, but in the first one is a past that finished,
Mhm.
and the second one is um maybe that is finished but recently.
Okay.
And the last one, we have been living in Nepal for 2 years. Um, maybe can be um, maybe also can be the present.
Yeah, definitely. In the third example, they are living. Oh, we
We
says
have
right. They're still living there. They're the action is in
yeah,
progress.
they are living. Yep.
Yeah. In the second example, can be maybe they were living there. Probably also they will continue living. And the first example is that they
Finished.
live there, but probably they won't live there anymore. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the difference.
But
Something that yeah.
so, sorry, Professor, to interrupt you, but in the case of B and C, could be the same, right? It's main, it's pretty
Mm,
same or not?
not really, because in the second example, the example one, okay, wants to show us that they lived in Nepal for 2 years, but usually when we use present perfect, the action can continue or may not. That means that they have lived in Nepal for 2 years. That one, that's okay. That one wants us to show that they were living there, and probably they will continue or not. It depends. But in the third one, the action is we are 100% sure that they will continue living in Nepal. But so far, only that one to show us the time, 2 years. But it will continue, yes or yes. But in the second one, we are not sure that if they will continue or not. But in the first example, never, right? They will not live there anymore. I don't know if I was able to explain you.
Yes,
Lucy.
thank you. So we can say that the present perfect continuous is definitely something that is going to continue.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that is
Okay,
the that's what we use
in
that.
the future.
Yeah, yeah. Yes or yes will the action will continue.
And the present perfect is something more like
Yeah.
not definitely, but with a
Mhm.
with a percentage of doubt.
Yeah, it can continue or not. Yeah, both of them.
All right.
There are two possibilities. Simple past, it won't continue never. There is no chance to continue the action.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Okay, it's okay. Oh, I got lost. Oh yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna work with one exercise. Okay, in order to reveal about those tenses. Okay, present, present perfect versus present perfect continuous. Just give me a couple of seconds, please. I'm gonna share the. Okay, just a moment, please. Because of I'm not in my computer, it asks a lot of things. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try to do it as fast as I can. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay, let me please share this, and let's get started, please, with this exercise. Let me know when you finish, okay? Please. Is it possible for you to join this? Write your name and work with it. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Great, great. Well, how was the I got confused with the beginning. How was the exercises on the in the example?
Tricky.
Yeah, right. It's a bit tricky sometimes.
Because otherwise you can use also present perfect, I guess. I don't know if my colleagues have the same opinion of that.
Okay, what do you
Yes,
think?
teacher, I think that Lucia is right. It was tricky.
Yeah, but in real life, we don't use a lot. Usually, present perfect. Yeah, present perfect continuous. It's not very common. Present perfect. Yeah, it is. It is common. Um, but anyway, yeah, sometimes it's a bit tricky. It is a bit tricky. That's true. What about you, Nazarena? How was the exercise according to your opinion?
Yes, was confused, teacher.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit confusing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but just uh, it is a matter of practice also. Okay. Uh, let me share something right now. We are going to continue with some grammar. In the platform, we're gonna practice tomorrow after day about some exercises there. According to this lesson, lesson 3, we also have the embedded questions, or sometimes we say indirect questions. But let me share, please, my screen right now. I'm sorry. Is it noisy over here? I hope it's not very disturbing. What do you say? Is it okay?
yeah, it's fine, teacher.
My background sound, I hope it's not very disturbing. I'm gonna try to cover my microphone while I'm not speaking. Okay, anyway, so let's start with this. Can you see my slide right now? Hello, can you see
Yes,
my
yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna start with noun clauses like subjects, objects, and complements. Okay, this is gonna be about dining out. Subject and objects. I think we were checking out that the last, like, in the first lesson, right? Especially when we talk about, do you remember? By, right? If the action, sometimes the object or the subject becomes the object and the object becomes the subject, right? But now we're gonna check it out a little bit different or something similar also. Should we leave a tip? Okay, please, if you can help me, is there Michaela in class right now? Is she? I'm sorry. Is she in
Yeah,
class?
I am here. I am
Okay,
here.
thanks. I'm sorry because I cannot see. I'm not with my camera. Oh, how about you? Help me reading this one, please, Michaela.
Okay. Should we leave a tip? I wonder whether or not we should leave a tip for the waiter.
Okay, continue, please. Ah, no, sorry. Continue, Nazarena.
Okay, I don't know why we should leave a tip for the waiter. He was terrible. I wonder.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was done. Okay,
okay.
Con
It's a
continue reading, please, Michaela.
It's a miracle that we received our food at all. He was so slow.
Nazarena.
What this weather needs is some more training.
Okay. Okay. But before we continue, I don't know if you noticed. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Usually in English, double-edged words we use for questions, right? Why, right? Why do we, or something like that? But over here, we're not using in a question word with an auxiliary verb, with the verb and the complement and the question mark, right? This is a bit different. These are called ended questions, by the way, when not necessarily double word means question, like here. I don't know why we should leave a tip for the waiter, right? It's a kind of question, but look at this one also. What this waiter needs, right? We don't usually. What's your name? What do you do for a living? I don't know. Usually those are common questions in English. But look at this one. It's a little bit different. We have what this waiter needs. What this waiter needs is some more training. Okay. Not necessarily a common question, but not probably it's not a question, of course. But let's check it out. This one. Noun clauses are dependent clauses that perform the same function that regular nouns. Okay. Noun clauses. Noun clauses begin with that, question words, or whether or if. Those are the noun clauses. Usually like this. Can you explain how this landed on my head? For example, it starts with question word, right? Or over here also. This is a noun clause. I'm not sure whether this is funny or not. Whether this, hmm, that's a noun clause, by the way. What about clause? Clause is like not, yeah, it's similar to a sentence, but clause you can, okay, you should understand when we say clause, very similar than an idea, okay? Like noun idea, something like that. Whether this is funny or not is a noun clause. How this landed on my head is also a noun clause. All this expression, how this landed on my head, or whether this is funny or not is also a noun clause. When I say clause, usually it's like an idea, okay? Not all, just a noun, because a noun is just a word, right? Okay, for example, I don't know, any name, any animal, anything, just something is a noun, but noun clause is a little bit different. But that starts with this, with that, question words, whether or if, or whether and if are similar, right? We can use any of them, whether similar. Okay, but help me out reading this one, please, Lucia.
All right. It's clear that I won't get a tip tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely that's a story, right? This is a terrible way to. But noun clauses can be subjects, objects, subject complements, or adjective complements. Okay, like subject is okay. For example, this also is a noun clause, right? This is a subject, right? What's painful? It's a subject. Is the hot coffee. Okay, read this one, please, Karen, the second one.
Okay, I don't understand why she doesn't hang up.
Okay. Over here we have the object. The noun clause is in the object. How come? We said that noun clauses will start with a double word, right? It can start, if we go back, with that question word, whether or if. Question word can be how, what, which, why, right? Who. So that's why over here, when this is the subject is, or sorry, not the subject, the noun clause is in the subject, in the place of the subject. And the noun clause is in the object. The object is the one that receives the action. The subject is the one that gives or makes the action, right? So read this one, please, Lucia.
The question is whether she's going to stop.
Okay, over here, where is the noun clause? Lucia.
Uh, is whether she's going to stop.
Yes, right, but it is like a subject complement. Of course, it's in the sub, in the, yeah, it's like, it's working as a subject complement, by the way. Okay, whether she's going to stop. And over here we have, can you read please, Michaela, the last one?
It's frustrating that she's not paying attention. Attention. Sorry.
No worries, she's not paying attention. Now it's working as a adjective complement. To pay attention is, can be considered as an adjective, right? Adjective complement, by the way. Okay, subject complement. Okay, but now noun clauses with that. I'm sorry by the noise. We use the word that to introduce certain noun clauses. Okay, for example, we can use not a word that separates, but to show, to present, to introduce some noun clauses. In such cases, there is a grammatical word that simply introduces a clause. It has no clear meaning, by the way. It's just that. Sometimes you can use or not. For example, over here, I think that I'll need to reorder, or I think I'll need to reorder. It's possible to use. That can be omitted when it introduces, when it introduces an object noun clause or a complement noun clause. That can be omitted sometimes. Not always. It's not mandatory to use that. Okay, can you read this one, please, Nazarena?
Okay. That these prices are so high is outrageous.
Okay. That these prices are so high is outrageous. Outrageous. When that introduces a subject noun clause, it is never omitted. Okay, because that is introducing a subject noun clause. Or in other words, we can say when we start a sentence with that, of course we're gonna use it. You cannot omit that. Okay, but no worries. I will explain this also in the next class. But anyway, how about this one? Use the clause introducers to make sentences with noun clauses to explain the picture. Uh, my boss told me that what I need right now is something, right? My boss told me that I should be more careful, or my boss told me I should be more careful. Um, the clause introducer to make sentences with noun clauses. For example, what I need right now is a break. I'm using what? What I need right now, right, is a break. What I need. So, okay, let's try to make this simple. Don't get complicated with those examples. For example, according to this picture, how can you complement or how can you complete this with some more ideas about this picture only? Something like this. Because over here already we have the clause introducer, like what. How about that? Or also what's, right? But let's hear
Maybe
ideas.
I noticed that he's a little clumsy.
Okay, I noticed that this is a little.
He is a little clumsy.
Okay, thank you. And some other ideas using any of them, of those examples about this picture. These are the clause introducers, right?
Professor, but sometimes that we cannot use always that, right? It's
Yeah,
like not necessary per se.
especially when that is in the middle, but when that is at the beginning, we need to use it.
Okay.
Teacher, maybe it appears that he was very tired and distraught.
Yeah, it appears that he was very tired and distracted. Also distracted. We can say it appears he was tired. He was very tired and distracted. Yeah, it is possible to say that. If we omit or consider that, it's possible. How about any other example, please? Somebody else.
Could be that new menu is very interesting.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Um,
Somebody else.
okay, it's likely that he is going to fail
Yes,
fail
it's
down.
likely that he's going to like he's like I'm sorry. It's likely that he's going to fall down. Yeah,
Fail down, yes.
thank you, Michaela.
Maybe what's funny is he's scary.
Okay, what's funny? He's scary. Okay, his face is scary. Okay, thank you. Okay, That he's going to fall is very clear. Right? We can say that. Okay. So, and ended questions. A question that is changed to a noun clause is called an ended question. We use a statement word order in ended questions, not question word order. What do you want to order, for example? What do you want to order is not an ended question, but I'm not sure what I want to order. That is an ended question, right? Like an inverted question. Um, okay, an example. What do you want to order, right? I'm not sure what I want to order. She's trying to repeat something similar, but in an ended question or a statement order is a little bit different. Because what I want, I'm not using an auxiliary verb here. Ended questions are more polite than direct questions. Okay, can you help me reading this one, please, Nazarena?
Okay. Are there any tables next to a window?
Okay. Please, Lucia.
Direct question. Can you tell me if there are any tables next to a window? Embedded question.
Yeah, ended question, right? Embedded question. So, yeah, this is a direct question. Are there any tables next to a window? Can you tell me if there are any tables next to a window? Yes. How?
No, Professor, I think for polite, we can use could, right? Could you tell me if
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Even to be more polite, we can use could you.
Yeah.
Even we can use. I was wondering if you can tell me, right? If you could tell me something. I was
Mhm.
wondering if you could. But I think it's very. Yeah, some people can be very as that polite, right? I was wondering if you can tell me where, if there are any tables next to a window. It's possible. Like very typical in Bolivia, we talk like that, right? We try to. We are not very direct. Usually, I don't know, use a lot of words to say just one thing. Like me estaba preguntando si usted me podía prestar or something like that. But it's possible even in English as well. I was wondering if you can help me. Yes. Okay. Another question can occur within a statement or within another question. Notice the difference in punctuation. For example, uh, can someone explain why there's lipstick on my glass? Okay. I'm not sure how this fly got in my soup. Okay, over here we have the punctuations, question words, and in the other one not, right? Okay, um, it can be, the question can occur in like this, or just just within a question, or also okay, a statement, or just in a statement, right? Or within a question, in a question as well. But be careful. Don't use do or does or did in ended question because for direct questions, of course, we're gonna use do, does, did, right? Auxiliary verbs. I don't know how that did happen. No, okay, it's not possible. You don't have to use it that way. By the way. So I don't know how that happened. It's enough. We don't need to repeat. This is totally incorrect because um, It's much better to use like this. I don't know how that happened. It's okay. But change the direct question below to embed questions. Use double H questions words or question words prompts below. How does she carry all those planes? I don't know. Embed question we can use like this. I don't know how she carries all those planes. We are still using how, but you know, I'm not gonna use do, does, did over here. Okay, I don't know what time is it right now. I was planning to finish. Ah, yes, we still have. Okay, please, let's sort of finish this with this one. Okay, with those examples, and then we're gonna finish the class. Please, let's start right now. Who wants to start with the first example over here? Can okay, I don't know if someone wants to start with the first example. What is the soup of the day?
Sorry, Professor, we have to answer these questions with some of the
Mm-mm.
proposal.
Not really. You have to change. This is though all of these are direct questions. What is the soup of the
Yeah.
day? Like I was wondering what the soup of the day is, or something like that. You
Okay.
have to use and convert into an embedded question. Okay.
Okay.
Try to do simpler.
Uh, I don't know when will be the food ready.
Okay. I don't know when will the food
Or
be
if the
ready.
food will be if the food will be ready directly also.
Yes. I don't know if the food will be ready. Yeah. Good. How about number three? Somebody.
Can you tell me where the restroom is?
Okay. Where the restaurant is?
I wonder what the soup of the day is.
Okay.
Um, maybe, do you know who was your waitress?
Do you know, right? No, do you know? Ah, yes. Do you know how the chef make this? Yes. How the chef made this, right? Because it's in past. Made this. Okay. Okay. Well, so we will practice. We will keep practicing this one and the questions in the next class. I'm sorry for getting connected later. I had some problems to get connected faster because I am not with my computer right now. Thanks. I hope you can. I hope you. Well, thanks for your patience because some students were already connected, right, since the beginning. Um. Okay, I will share my. Sorry, I don't know if you have any questions before before we finish everything. I don't know. Do you want us? I don't know. Sorry, I I want to say something. Also, maybe you want to say something, but please let me know something before I say something. Do you want to say something right now?
No,
Um,
teacher.
Teacher,
Yes.
you sent us the survey, the same survey that you
Yeah.
sent every class, or because I know that we are in the middle of the model,
Okay.
so I know that we fill up a different survey. I don't know if you sent us this.
That was on Monday, I think. I already sent that.
But I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. I can send it right now also. No worries.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. But Yeah, I'm gonna send you right now. This. Okay. Somebody else maybe want to say something else?
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, but let's wait, please. As Karen said, uh, before everyone checks, please, I will send the other survey. Okay, I don't know if everybody has checked this survey. Okay, before we finish this class, I want to say something. I hope you had a nice day today. Of course, today was a very busy day. Um, and it's a special day, right? This is today is the Students' Day, and so I really hope you had a nice time, and I hope you will still gather good friends in your job or wherever over here, or I don't know, because I think it's very important to make friends in our lives, and I really hope you had a nice time. Happy Students' Day, okay, for everyone. Thanks for being part of this also for these classes, and I hope we're gonna still share some more classes, of course. We still have. Okay. Okay. Let me send the other one. I think everybody did this. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay, we are about to finish.
Thank you so much, teacher. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye. Thanks for being in the
Thank you
class.
so much, Professor. Bye, girls.
Bye, teacher.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye.